Hey everyone, welcome back. So it's another bad day in the markets today along with Bitcoin. It's Wednesday today and we're going to take a look at all that has happened today in the markets. Bitcoin and Ethereum as well, they were both down. Miners, they reached new 52-week lows again today. Bit Digital, Bitfarms, Core Scientific, Greenwich, Hive, CleanSpark, Hut 8, Iris Energy, and Sphere 3D all reached new 52-week lows today. So it's getting pretty bad. We'll also take a look at Bit Digital's Q3 financials. They reported those today. We'll take a look at it. Are they solid? We'll get into all of that. And then we also have Rigz versus Wgmi. These are the Bitcoin miner ETFs. We're going to compare those. I'm looking to invest into them for my 401k. We'll get into it all, okay? And that is it pretty much. So as always, you guys know the drill here. I'm invested in the following coins and companies for full disclosure. This is for not financial advice. This is for entertainment only. Do your own research. If you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. Okay, and let's get into the markets here. So the S&P was down 0.19%, so it wasn't down too bad. It was down to 3,933. Dow Jones was pretty much flat on the day, maybe up a little bit, 1.58 to 33,597. Nasdaq was down 0.45% to 11,497. Bitcoin was also down today along with Ethereum. You can see here that they were down. Bitcoin was down today 1.46%, so it hit a low of 16,679, a high of 17,140 on the day, and it closed at 16,840. We have been kind of trading sideways flat here for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days or so, 7 possibly. We did go a little bit lower below the lower bounds here in the last couple of days. We'll see what that actually means on it. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart, the RSI is down to 40.97 right now. Last time we were around here was back on November 28th. At that time, Bitcoin was at 16,200. So we're still up on the RSI. Well, we're flat on the RSI, but price has gone up. That's what I'm trying to say, okay? So that's looking good. On the 1-hour chart, we dipped down to 38. We went a little bit lower here to 27. Let's see where the prior low is on it. And this is on the 1-hour chart for Bitcoin. I don't see anything here recently. So I wonder if we're getting a little bit of a reversal pattern happening where we're starting to get a little bit more bearish instead of bullish on it. We did have this pretty big drop here in the last couple hours throughout the day. Let's see, we were up higher at that point. We are now lower in price. Last time, yeah, I mean, we're looking at it over here roughly. Price was higher, we're lower now. So it's turning a little bit more bearish on the 1-hour chart at least. Okay, Ethereum was also down today. It was down 3.12%, so a low of 1,215, a high of 1,277, and it closed at 1,231. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we can see here that RSI is down to 37. Prior to that was way back over here on 28th also. At that time, price was lower, so we are okay on the 4-hour chart. Let's look at the 1-hour chart. See if we're seeing the same things we did with Bitcoin, and the RSI is at 34. Last time we were at, yeah, I mean, price was lower, or price was higher, sorry. Price is lower now, while the RSI is about the same. So it's turning a little bit more bearish on both of them, okay? Let's take a look at the miners here really quick. ANY was down 5.56% to 26.5 cents. Argo was actually up today, 6.71% to 7 cents and change. Bit Digital was down 6.33% to 73 cents. Bitfarms was down 2.38% to 48 cents. CleanSpark was down 0.97 to $2.05. I did dollar cost average in some more today into CleanSpark. I bought another 500 shares of them at 201? Yeah, 201. I bought them at 201 this morning. So we're dollar cost averaging as best we can into that. Cores was down 2.76% to 11 cents. DigiHost was down 2.55% to 53 cents. DMG was down 3.07% to 14.5 cents. Greenwich was down 0.94% to 48.5 cents. Hive was down 3.63% to $1.86. Hut 8 is down 4.5% to $1.06. Iris Energy is down 6.62% to $1.41. Luxfolio was flat, and Marathon was down 7.25% to $5.37. They are getting pretty close to their 52-week low, which was, I believe, $5.20. So they're not too far away from hitting new 52-week lows. Mawson was down 0.83% to 29.75 cents. Riot was down 3.65% to $4.22. Soluna was actually up today 6.39% to 58, almost 59 cents. And Stronghold was up 0.67% to 51 and change cents. So last couple of days have been pretty bad for the miners. And let's take a look at the Bitcoin network hash rate right now. So let's renew this. So it dropped a little bit here to 251 million from 252 on the 7-day average. Let's take a look at what's going on the 1 day. Well, but it's spiking here. So we did come up with 292 now on the 1-day chart, and this is from December 6th. So we are getting new peaks here, new highs. It looks like we're starting to trend back up higher. The Bitcoin price falls a little bit. I think we may see that come back down a little bit. But while the price is staying, holding around 17,000 right now, I think, and if it goes up higher, this is also going to continue to go up higher as well. We do know that miners are still getting installed for a lot of the Bitcoin miners we cover for you guys. Okay, so that covers Bitcoin, Ethereum markets, and Bitcoin miners. And let's take a look at our first story, which is Bit Digital and their third quarter financial results. So this was from Yahoo News or Yahoo Finance. Main things I'm going to take a look at, we'll take a look at all the numbers that they have when we get into my spreadsheet, but some things I wanted to point out, just some commentary here. So management believes that the company has avoided most, if not all, operational exposure to the Compute North bankruptcy that commenced in September 2022. The company's service agreement with Compute North and ownership of 2 facilities hosting the company's miners were transferred to a third party prior to the bankruptcy filing. So that might be good news there. The company is in process of confirming this counterparty is in receipt of all company assets. They don't know that. So in the interim, as a precaution pending such confirmation, the company has timely filed as an unsecured creditor of Compute North. One thing that would have been nice to know is how many miners do they have over at Compute North, or however the third party is now taking over those facilities. That would be nice to know, and we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Going down here, here's some more commentaries. So the industry is currently negotiating significant macro headwinds as the price of Bitcoin and other digital assets have come under pressure, helping to precipitate a series of negative events across the ecosystem. We are well positioned against this backdrop with a pristine balance sheet, no debt obligations, no capex or minor purchase obligations, and a healthy liquidity position. We ended the third quarter with 33.6 million in cash and restricted cash of 9.1 million of USDC and 25.3 million of digital assets for total liquidity of 68.0 million. We remain focused on preserving the strength of our balance sheet and note that our liquidity position provides flexibility to pursue strategic growth opportunities. So that would be kind of interesting to see, especially in the market that we are in right now. They may do a little pounce in here if some miners go under. We expect the opportunity set will only ripen over time as more mining equipment and companies are liquidated out of distress. And we may see that. I agree with that. So their holdings strong on that. I think also Hut 8 is, kind of maybe getting ready to pounce, but we'll see. They really need to continue their growth as well. Okay, and then we are excited to announce that we have commenced Ethereum staking operations alongside our core Bitcoin mining business. This diversification into an additional blue chip digital asset ecosystem carries the goal of creating a new, predictable, and recurring stream of digital rewards. Combined, we believe Bitcoin mining and Ethereum staking are complementary business lines that can enhance our overall margin and investment profile. Given our constructive outlook for both BTC and ETH, we believe this diversification is beneficial and see value in having the notional ETH position on our balance sheet compound over time. We believe that this strategy will ultimately maximize value for our stakeholders. So there's some truth to that, I think, especially if they're staking. We would have to take a look at see what they actually are staking, but I think it's like around 700 ETH, and I think you need 32 Ethereums to stake. So that would give them a pretty good position on that. And if Ethereum goes up in price, that will help them out as well. Not much else you can do with it right now other than to stake it. So I think that's fine that they're doing it. Okay. So that is all that we have for them. I don't think there's anything else. Let's take a look at the numbers that I have for them. And here are the numbers. So this is what we're referencing here. They're numbers, unaudited, condensed, consolidated balance sheet as of September 30th. So these are the numbers we're going through. I have the prior 3 quarters numbers as well, so we'll compare, see how things are stacking up against those. Okay, so Bit Digital, we went over them as far as the production numbers are concerned for November. I believe it was in yesterday's video. So I'm not going to go over all this stuff. We'll touch on it a little bit here, but not too greatly. Main things we're going to take a look at is the assets, current liabilities, things like that, revenue, and then we'll look at some of the ratios as well. So assets did decrease. Cash and cash equivalents decreased to 32 million. Let me maybe zoom this in for you guys so you guys can see a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so cash and cash equivalents decreased to 32 million from 42, so that's a decrease of 12 million. Restricted cash is about the same, 1.3 million USDC. They're reporting that now instead of having it as 0 on previous reports, so it's 9 million there. Digital assets decreased a little bit to 23 million from 26.9. Income tax receivable is down a little bit, 86,000 from 171,000. Other current assets is down also, 2.3 million from 5.7 million roughly. So total current assets this quarter is 68.3 million compared to 78.4. So that was a decrease of roughly 10.1 million in total current assets, which still isn't too bad. Investment securities is 2.3 million, so that's up from 333,000. Deposit for property and equipment is about the same, 4.09 million. Property and equipment is down a little bit to 80.6 from 89. Deferred tax is 0. Other non-current assets is up to 9.1 from 6.12, so that's good there. So total non-current assets is 96, down from 100.5. And total assets is 164.6 million, down from 178.9. So that's a decrease of approximately 14 million, looks like, if my math in my head is correct. So that's still not too bad. They are burning through some cash, though, it looks like. And given that the environment that we are currently in, I can understand why. Okay, let's take a look at their liabilities and stockholder equity. Accounts payable is up a little bit to 2.1 million from 1.9, which still isn't too bad. Other payable and accrued liabilities is down to 1.3 from 2.1, so that's good there. Total current liabilities is down to 3.4 from 4, so that's good. Long-term income tax payable is about the same. So total non-current liabilities is 2.9. Total liabilities is 6.4 from 7.0. So that's good. They decreased that as well. Shareholder equity, shares out, don't care about that really. Additional paid-in capital, accumulated deficit. So total stockholder equity with liabilities is 164, down from 178.9. Okay, so that's not too bad still. Now revenue. Revenue did increase quite nicely here for the quarter. They are up to 9.1 million, and I was actually pretty close to that. So if we go up to here, where we're tracking this stuff, I had them at 9.168. They came in at 9.130, so I was up a little bit higher than that, but still pretty good, within 0.41% off on it on the upside. So I'm happy with that. That means that my tracking has gotten better with using the Bitcoin average price for the month. That seems to help out. But we'll see if that continues on. Okay, so revenue 9.1 from 6.8, so that is a great increase there. It's also higher than their first quarter, Q1, of 8.5, so that's really good there, that they were actually able to increase production, increase revenues, while the market has actually been going down. Difficulty has been coming up, so that's no small feat to accomplish there, so that's good there. Cost of revenue did go up a little bit to 6.5 million from 3.584, and this excludes depreciation and amortization, which I think this could be attributable to higher energy costs. I'm not sure on that one, but I'm guessing that's what it is. Depreciation and amortization did go up to 9.3 from 5.3. General and administrative expenses went up to 6.2 million from 4.6 roughly. So almost 1.6 million more for the quarter, which I would have liked to have seen that stay more in line to what they had or decrease, especially in the market that we are in right now. Cost of revenue was 22 million compared to 13 million, so that is a pretty big increase there. The biggest drivers was cost of revenue, depreciation, and general contributed to it the most, it looks like. And that is yeah, I mean, that's pretty much almost a 8.5, 9 million increase in cost of revenue. So you need to get that under control, I think. Loss income from operations was a negative 12 million, 12.9 compared to 6.6. So that's not good there. We need to work on that. Gross profit was a negative 141%. And then gross profit minus depreciation was 2.6 million. And then gross profit minus depreciation percentage was 28.18%. So that's kind of their profit there. On it, operating expenses, realized gain, loss, and exchange of digital assets was 1.04 million compared to 2.1. Impairment of digital assets was negative 2.3 compared to 13 million, so that's pretty good there. Gain from from disposal of property and equipment, 60,000. That's down from 1.2. Gain from sale, nothing there. Other expenses was 26,000, so that's not too bad. Total other expense income net, negative 1.2 million. Operating income loss, negative 14. Net income before taxes, negative 14.3. So that's actually an improvement here over what we had in Q2, which was negative 18.124. Okay. And then basic and diluted net loss per share, negative 17 cents. And shares did go up a little bit, about 4 million, around 4 million shares got added, diluted to 83.3 million from 79.5, 79.6 roughly. So that's not too bad either. It's better than it was from Q1 to Q2. Q1 to Q2, we almost had 10 million shares added. In here, only 4 million. So that's good. All right. Some metrics here. So these are the metrics that I track here, how much they mined. So Q3, they mined 429.1 BTC compared to 197.23. That is a really nice, good increase for them. Starting hash rate was 760 petahash. They ended up at 1.35 exahash. And the average hash rate was 1.056 exahash. So they increased by 591 petahash, which is good. They've been getting better at it. BTC mined per average was 0.406 per petahash. If you look at exahash, it's 406. So that is actually really good. That's their best that I've tracked so far for them. In Q1, they were at 389. Q2, they were at 302. So a nice increase here. They got a little bit more efficient in the third quarter. Cost to mine 1 BTC. This is all their costs included, so that's 51.3 thousand. Now, if we take out depreciation and other crap from here, we come up with it costs them about 15.1 million to mine 1 BTC. That seems awfully high. Let's see, where am I going wrong here on this? Q3, let's take a look at the numbers here. So cost of revenue times 1. So we get a positive divided by the number that has been mined. 429 times 1,000. Why are we doing it times 1,000? That should be, there we go. So 15,000. That makes more sense. Sometimes you don't find your mistakes until you actually look at them. Cost of mine 1 BTC is at 15,000, so it's actually down from 18,000 in Q2. So that's good there. Okay, so that's looking better there. And then this one should be probably 51,000, I'm guessing. Yeah, I don't know why I'm doing multiplying it by 1,000. 51,000. That makes a little bit more sense there. 51,000 to mine 1 BTC. Okay, 15,000. So that makes sense. All right, sorry about that. Debt to equity stayed the same here at 0.0407, which is really good, which is really low. And it was the same in Q2. And then their current ratio did get a little bit better to 19.76 from 19.1458. So that's also good there. They got plenty of cash to pay their current liabilities, which is great. They don't have anything to worry about there. Revenue was 9.13 million, which we saw. General administrative was 6.23, so that is a little bit high. It's 68.25% of their revenue is their general administrative expense. That seems really high to me. They need to get that down quite a bit, I would think. Okay, so those are the numbers there for them. And let's take a look at what else I want to show you guys here. So overall, a good quarter. They are burning through some cash, which a lot of people are right now. And some things to improve on, like I said, was the general administrative. Got to get that down, cut down some of the expenses as well. And I think they'll be fine. But we'll have to see what happens with Compute North, third party now, if they got the miners and things like that, which I'm sure we'll get an answer on that within the coming weeks. Okay. Also, let's take a look at the miner comparison here really quick. Since they reported now their Q3 numbers, we can kind of take a look at it where the Bit Digital is right here. So they are, let me see here. Oh, current assets minus total liabilities, they would have 61 million, almost 62 million left over. It is a decrease of 9.4 million from Q2, which we track over here. And we can see that they had 71.42 million at that time, but it's still okay. Their current ratio and debt to equity ratio are still really good. Probably one of the lowest ones that we have here, I think. I don't see anybody, maybe Sphere 3D is a little bit lower at 0.025 on the debt to equity ratio. Yeah, but they're still really low. So no worries there from them. And that's it. Let's hope that they keep this up and just get their expenses under control a little bit. Either that or Bitcoin has to go up. One of the two things has to happen. Okay, so that's Bit Digital. And we'll leave it at that. Okay, next, I want to talk to you guys about a couple of the miners or miner ETFs. And the reason behind this is recently, the 401k provider that we have where I work full time allowed us to finally invest in ETFs. So when I heard that, a little light went off in my head. It's like, I've been getting about 18% a year returns. This past year was just crazy. We're down 35, almost 40%. But over the history of the plan, since I was able to get control of it, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, for that time span, it's been growing like about 18 to 20%. I was very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Not conservative on it, very aggressive with the choices that I made as far as which funds to invest in. And they've done pretty well for the most part, except for this past year, which is understandable. Now, with the option of us having the ability to get into ETFs, and I checked the platform, it looks like it is available to us, or at least to me, the Bitcoin miner ETFs, which is Rigz and WGMI, I keep getting that wrong, WGMI, which is Valkyrie funds, and the other one is Verity funds for Rigz. So I wanted to take a look at those to see which miners they're actually holding, along with some other stocks that they're holding, and see if it would be possible to put in maybe a portion of my 401k funds into those ETFs, knowing that we are possibly, I'm not saying that we are, but possibly towards the bottom of the market here when it comes to the Bitcoin miners. We still could have another 3, 4, 6 months of pain, but I wouldn't put all the cash into it all at once. I would dollar cost average into it probably over the next 3 months, 4 months, depending on how things go. If things start picking back up, I may accelerate that. But right now the thinking is I would slowly get into it. And the reasoning behind it is, like I said, I think we're getting pretty close to the bottom. And the potential is there for, I think, at least a 5x return on those miners that they're covering. So I wanted to take a look at each fund and see which miners they have, what's the allocation of each, which one do I like more, and then should I go 50-50 on both of those, 75-25, or 100% to one of those. So let me know what you guys think of this, if this is a bad idea or not. So please do not do this. This is something that I'm going to be doing. This is very risky. If it's in something that's in your 401k, depending on your age, I still have at least 20-25 years of work ahead of me. If I lose this, I can rebuild it still. People that are in a higher age group should not be doing this at all. I would say nobody should be doing this, what I'm doing, because I'm going pretty much 90% of my 401k is going to be going into this. And the time frame for this is going to be approximately 1.5 to 2 years to get to that 5x potential return. Now, things could go way south on me on this, which is completely possible. I could lose 50% of it. I could lose 90% of it. Really don't know. But based on all the research that I've done on the miners, the previous cycles that I've been through, I'm not going to say it's 100% given that it's going to happen, but I am pretty certain that the possibility of this working out is pretty high, at least for me. So I'm willing to take that risk. Now, like I said, this is because I do have 20-25 more years of work ahead of me. I can recoup that if need be. If I was going to be retiring in the next 5 to 10 years, I would not be doing that. If I did, I'd maybe put in 5% of my allocation into this, see what happens, and be that way. But I do have the time. So let me know if you guys think I'm crazy, stupid for doing this. I'd love to know your feedback on this as well. I know you guys are investing in the miners as well. And would you do something like this as well? Okay, so that's kind of my question to you guys. So let's get into the two miner ETFs, and we'll see what they have. We'll talk about it, discuss it, and we'll go from there. Okay, so nothing was planned here. So this is Verity Funds. This is the Rigz fund, RIGZ, and yep, miners ETF. So here's what we have so far. It is way down along with the miners, as we know. It was at a high of $53.38 in November of last year, which is pretty much where we peaked at on everything from Bitcoin miners, Bitcoin, pretty much everything peaked around that. I think the markets, stock markets peaked around September, I believe, somewhere around there. So right around that range, we peaked at $54.06. Currently, it is trading at $4.70. Way down, right? Along with the miners, which is understandable. So if we can get back to even half of this, this would be a 5x return in the next possibly 2 years. If we return back, if we go 10x, we're looking at $47, which still leaves us some room to go possibly higher if we get back to those highs. So then that would be a 10x. So that's kind of what I'm looking at it here this way. And like I said, this could go way south on me, but I'm willing to take that risk on it. It's high risk, high reward, but potentially could set me up for a real nice retirement when I am getting ready to retire. I am not counting on Social Security being there for me, potentially. Like I said, I still have 20 more years or so. Things may change by then, but right now it's not looking too good. Okay, so that's kind of the performance of it in the past 12 months. Okay, here is the performance on it on a monthly, 3 months, and 6 months, and 1 year basis. Since inception, it's down 77%. 1 year, basically around this time last year, it's down 87%. Miners are down pretty much close to that anyways. Okay, quarterly end performance, not too worried about that. 1 year, 673, 65. So let's take a look at the holdings that they actually do have on this. So Rigz has, and this I think changed over recently because I thought they had CleanSpark as number one just a couple of days ago, but I could be wrong on this. So Riot is their number one holding, which is fine. I'm fine with having Riot be the highest one here. I prefer CleanSpark, but that's just me. I think CleanSpark has more growth if they can grow there. So Riot, CleanSpark being in the 1 and 2 spot is fine with me on this one. Bitfarms, okay, I can see that. Hut 8 as well is in there. Marathon's in the top 5. So Marathon, as you know, I'm a little weary on Marathon. They have a lot of debt, and we have a lot of unknowns with Compute North. For that reason, they're a high risk, high reward that I think maybe should be placed down between the 6 to 10 miners, not the top 5, but maybe the bottom top 10, somewhere around there. Okay, so that's okay, but we pretty much see this across the board with both of them. Then they got TeraWulf. So TeraWulf, I don't know much about it. I did a little research on them today just to find out what the heck's going on and why are they in the 6th spot. Applied Digital Corp, I don't know enough about them either. Samsung, I know they do microchips and computers and phones and everything else, so I can understand that. Taiwanese Semiconductor as well, I get that one. They do a lot of the chips as well. And then Intel is getting into the business as well. So I can see why those are in the miner ETF. Okay, so those are fine. But we'll take a look at TeraWulf here in a second here. Some things that I found on them. DMG is fine as well. Bit Digital, Iris Energy is okay. ProShares, TR Bitcoin S Straight. Don't know what that one is. Cypher Mining, don't know enough about them either. Having them be towards the end is fine with me. High Blockchain, I would have moved up higher than DigiHost, but that's just me. Or DMG, right? DMG was on there as well. DMG, I would have moved Bit Digital above DMG and put Hive above it as well. Argo is of concern, as you know. DigiHost would have been higher than Argo. Stronghold, I would have put towards the bottom here. cash and other, and then what else do they have here? Moss and infrastructures on the bottom here in greenish. Okay, so those are fine at being on the bottom. I'm okay with that. So it's not looking too bad of a bad fund. They do have a lot of companies that are of concern though. They don't have, surprisingly, they must have gotten rid of Core. Core would have been one that I would have definitely removed from here. Let me see here what else. But I would have moved some of the miners up higher than some of the chip manufacturers, like Samsung, Taiwanese Semiconductor, and Intel. I would have put those towards the bottom a little bit more because I think the miners have a little bit more explosive growth to them compared to the other stocks there. Okay, but otherwise these top five I'm okay with, except for maybe Marathon there. Hut I probably would have put down a little bit lower, maybe brought in also Iris Energy in there as well into the mix, but we'll see. That's kind of what I would have done with this one. Okay, so that's Rigz here. Let's take a look at WGMI, which is the Valkyrie funds, and we'll see what kind of stuff we can get on them. Let's see here if we can find some information as far as how much they are down over the previous couple months. And I don't think I'm going to be able to find it here. Since inception, it's down 78.37%. 3 months, it's down 47.39%. And it looks like it just started trading here possibly this year in, what is that, February? February 7th is when it started trading. So we don't have a lot of historical data on it. It did reach a high of, no, that's historical premium discount. Where's the actual chart on them? Let's see here. Oh, let's go into my other one here. You can probably find it on here better. Let's see here. Rigz WGMI. Let's go to the daily chart on them. So they did reach a high of, they were at $27, $28 at the beginning of the year, it looks like. So they started trading this year only. So they started trading after the run up to 69,000 in Bitcoin in November. And since then, price has been falling down. So they were priced at $28 per share, roughly. And they are currently at $5.12. So we're looking at what is that going to be? Close to a 6x, 5x. If we do 5x, you're looking at $25. So that's possibly the top on this one. It could also beat it if Bitcoin starts rallying into the next year. You're going to have 2 years into the Bitcoin halving event as well. But we'll see on that one. That one we just don't know. So here's what they have as far as their top holdings. They have CleanSpark is in the number 1 spot. Riot is in number 2 spot, which is fine. Hive, so this one's a little bit different. Hive is up higher on the Valkyrie one instead of the Rigz one. Bitfarms is in here as well, and then Marathon is the 5th spot right now on both of them, which I probably would have put down a little bit lower. And then they got TeraWulf quite high up here as well, just below Intel, Nvidia. And then we got Cash and Other. Samsung Electronics is in here as well, which is okay. And then the other ones are DigiHost, BitDigital, Cypher Mining. Like I said, I don't know much about them. AMD is in here as well. And then Taiwanese Semiconductor, Hut 8. I would have put that up higher probably. Stronghold and Mawson are fine being down the bottom along with Greenwich. So I'm okay with this one as well. Now, when I look and I see TeraWulf in here being quite high on both of those, this one's in the, let's see, what is this here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the 8th spot for WGMI. Rigz has it at number 6 spot. So we got 6 spot, number 8 spot. And let's take a look at really quick Valkyrie funds. Not Valkyrie funds, TeraWulf, sorry. So this is their first, I think they provided their November updates just recently. So I think this is their first update that they provided us with. They do have 17,500 miners installed, 2 exahash roughly, but their own mining is only, where did I see it here? Let's see here, I saw it over here someplace. Where did it go? I think they only have 1.3 of their self-mining. Gosh, I saw it here just a while ago while I was looking at this. Let's see, average operating hash rate, deployed fleet of 1720. Where did it go? Okay, of those miners, approximately 11,000 are wholly owned with a hash rate of capacity of approximately 1.3 exahash. So that's what they currently have for their own mining. The good thing is here, we can see that they actually provided their power cost. Cost of power declines sequentially in November to approximately 0.035 cents per kilowatt as compared to approximately 0.058. That's pretty high in October. So if they can maintain this price, that's not too bad. And they're just starting out, but they also have quite steep hill to climb. And the reason for that is if we look at their this was I think Q3 numbers, we can see here current assets of only 4.4, almost 4.5 million, right? They do still have some restricted cash at 7.2, but if you look at their current liabilities held for total current liabilities, 105 million. That is worrisome. They have no way of paying that right now. Accounts payable is 18.2. They have 11 million if you combine those. So they have some prepaid expenses. So total current assets is 16 million. They have no way to pay the accounts payable already. So they are going to be in a world of hurt if they can't get secure funding, get loans, debt, or something. They're not going to be able to possibly exist, which is kind of concerning. So that's one of the things I would kind of look out at. But I got to do some more research into these guys. I promised one of you guys that commented in the post that I would take a look at it, and I will take a look at it this weekend when I have some time. So I'll do a deep dive on them probably either Sunday or Monday next week. But we'll see what they have coming up, where they are now at, and we'll see if we can look at some other financial reports as well to see where they were and where they have gotten in that time frame. Okay. So this is just one that I wanted to point out. This is that one. That doesn't really show us anything. Okay, so back to Valkyrie and what's the other one? How do you pronounce that? Is that Verity? I can never pronounce that correctly. So we got these two funds. They both look okay. My only concern with both is TerraWolf being in pretty high spot of number 6 and number 8. Other than that, I'm okay with those. So I got some work cut out for me, I guess, and really want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think about me going pretty heavy on this for the next year and a half, possibly 2 years, to see where we end up at? And is this a dumb move, or based on that I have 20, 25 more years, I can recoup it if I lose it? So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, the spreadsheet is available to my Patreon members. Thank you to everyone there for their continued support. Love you all there. Love you all for watching also. And then we'll see what happens tomorrow. We're still waiting on a number of miners to provide their operation updates. So let's take a look at that. See who else we are waiting on really quick while we are here. Nope, that's not the one. This one. Let's take a look here. Who do we have left? So we still have Argo hasn't provided. Core has not provided. Surprisingly, we're already in December 7th here. They usually provide pretty quickly. We still have Greenidge, Hive that has to provide, Iris, Mawson, and Sphere. So we still have quite a bit of them to provide for November production updates. Okay, so that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Love you all. Hope you guys have a great night. Tomorrow is Thursday, then we got Friday, and then next week we got the CPI data, which will be interesting to see where things end up at. Okay, wish you all a good night. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.